Welcome to PR Like a Boss, the podcast where we explore the world of beauty and lifestyle PR through candid conversations with industry leaders. I'm your host, Patz, and today we're talking about a topic that is close to my heart and to my fabulous guest's heart as well: positive aging in the beauty industry. Joining me is the brilliant Donna Francis. Donna is an award-winning beauty editor with over 25 years' experience. She is the contributing editor for Hello magazine and has written for some of the most iconic publications like InStyle, Grazia, Stylist, and many more. She's also consulted for leading beauty and lifestyle brands such as P&G, Boots, and Nivea. Now in her late 40s, Donna is passionate about inspiring women to feel positive about aging, challenging outdated norms and uplifting beauty messaging. Donna, it's such an honour to have you here today.
Thank you. It's an honour to be here. It really is. And it's such an important discussion. So I'm so pleased that we're having it.
Yay! So Donna, you've been in the beauty industry for some time.
Yes.
And you've seen how messaging around aging has changed, or perhaps in some cases hasn't changed enough. So what do you think is still missing in the way beauty brands talked about aging today?
Yeah, I mean, looking back, there has been some steps forward, definitely, but not enough. And I think there's lots of things that brands can do. And first of all, I think they need to look at the language. We all know that there's been this whole discussion about brands calling creams that are promising certain things to smooth out our faces and to make our skin look more youthful being called anti-aging creams. And that has been something that's, we've gotten used to.
Yeah, it's been around forever.
Yeah. And the good thing about it, let's pull out a positive thing, is that at least when you pick up a cream that has the words anti-aging on it or anti-wrinkle, you know that it's speaking to you, which is important. But I think the key thing that's missing is that we need to make women feel good about themselves at this age. They've got so much going on. You've got aging parents, you've got money, you've got career, you've got menopause, which I speak about a lot as well. So you want to feel good about yourself. You don't want a brand to put you down from the outset. So the language is definitely an issue. And for me, I think brands should be spinning it and saying positive, celebratory language that celebrates people's individuality. And also don't assume that every woman wants to be wrinkle-free. I have my own podcast called Smiling Gives You Wrinkles, which is all about celebrating aging. And I often speak to my followers about this. They don't all want to look like Kim Kardashian. They might want to look like Drew Barrymore, Jamie Lee Curtis, Kate Winslet, all these, Julia Roberts, all these amazing women that are not conforming to what a lot of brands believe they want, women like us want to look like, i.e. no expression, completely smooth, poreless skin. They are, these women that I'm talking about, the Drew Barrymores and people like that, they are celebrating what they look like for who they are, and they're not afraid to show their personality.
Oh my goodness, yeah. You've brought up so many great points there. It's so true. It feels like there's still a missed opportunity to authentically represent older women and their diverse experiences. Why do you think that kind of representation is so important, not just for consumers, but for the industry as a whole?
Because the demographic that we're in is growing, and it's a demographic that has often been ignored. And look, it's a business at the end of the day. And we all know that everyone's here to make the money.
It's a big
And
business.
yeah, and that is why they need to look at it, because women need something to give them, they need a reason to smile.
Mm-hmm.
And beauty at the moment, in general, there are pockets which we'll talk about later that are doing it well. But in general, women are going into, their local high street drugstores or Boots or whatever. I'm in America, so it's a different thing. But they're looking at these images, or they're going online and they're seeing these brands that I believe should be speaking to me. But they're showing these girls that are in their 20s using their products.
Mm-hmm.
We're never going to look like that. And actually, a lot of women don't want to look like that. They want to look the best for their age. So, to your point, it is so important that we start addressing this, because it is a growing demographic, and it's a demographic that has got a lot of money. So they need to start taking it seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about some of the language and visuals we still see in beauty campaigns today. What should brands avoid if they want to move away from inadvertently reinforcing age-related stereotypes?
I mean, you mentioned my work for Boots. I worked for Boots in the UK for 5 years. I was the beauty director there, and I was part of the team that introduced unretouched imagery to the high street. So that's so important, I think, for brands now, to not wipe away things with a magic pen. I mean, we were shooting covers that would not even wipe away a strand of hair if it brushed across the model's face. Sometimes you don't have to go to that length, but we wanted to say that everything was 100% unretouched. We couldn't, retouch anything out. So I think that is really, really important. I think women want to see real skin. They don't want to see poor, and I'm not just talking about wrinkles. I'm talking about freckles. Look at the trend years ago that, freckles weren't in. Now you've got freckle pens that people want to put
People are painting them on.
Exactly. And actually, going back to when I first started out, and I worked for Cosmo Girl, which was a teenage magazine, and I was in my 20s. And at that point, I was very passionate about showing teenagers that they shouldn't have to fit in a box. And so many of my models that I chose for those shoots had freckles. They had a gap in their teeth. Brands visually should be celebrating individuality.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
then as far as the language is concerned, again, they want to give some women something to smile about and to feel positive, and something that's achievable. Look, you're not going to go and buy a 50 quid bottle of cream and next week it's going to get rid of all your wrinkles. It's just not going to happen.
Absolutely not.
But that cream will and can make your skin glowier. It can make it look more hydrated, and it can make it look happier. I think happiness is key as well.
And make
I'm
you
so
feel
passionate
good
about it.
Yeah, I know. I can. You're transmitting it across the pond here. It's so true. It's all about feeling good as well.
Totally. And also that speaks to lifestyle. I think that's something we really should address as well. I believe that brands should think about the bigger picture, just not what's going on at face value. Look, I credit the way that I'm happy in my skin because of the life that I lead. I go to Orange Theory, which is a fitness class every morning. I've recently cut back on my drinking, and that's to do with menopause. I surround myself with positive people that I know that will make me happy. And all of that is linked to beauty. It's not just face value. Because it comes from the inside out. I know it's a cliche, but...
Yeah. No, it's not a cliche. It's also about our mental well-being, really. And that shines through, doesn't it?
It so does. And authenticity. that's something I'll go to later when we talk about the brands that I think is doing the kind of this demographic, that are serving this demographic. But you've got to celebrate women for their authenticity and their individuality.
100%. I think, look, it's amazing how even small changes in language or visuals can make such an incredible difference. And I don't, it's not really that difficult, right?
No, it really isn't.
It just isn't. And I don't understand why it's just not it's not the norm. It should be the norm.
And going back to what I said before, what drives me crazy is when you see these brands that should be addressing us and they're patronizing us, assuming that we want to look a certain way, and then showing us these girls that are beautiful, but that we're never going to look like. And we know that they're not picking the products up. They're not the ones that are buying the products.
No.
It's us.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy.
Well, on that note, can you share any specific examples of changes that stand out to you that have been truly impactful?
For brands that I love and campaigns, certainly, yeah. When I saw this question, the first brand that I thought of, I'll just say who it is, Jones Road Beauty. So Jones Road Beauty, for anyone that isn't familiar with them, is a makeup and skin. It's a beauty brand created by Bobbi Brown when about 4 years ago. And Bobbi Brown is a makeup artist that I have been following since before I was even in the industry. She wrote a book for teenagers, and I remember buying it and thinking, oh my God, this is amazing, because I remember the models that she used were very diverse. They didn't tick the boxes. Actually, that inspired my shoot ethic at Cosmo Girl, all that work back then. So I've always followed her. So when she launched Jones Road, I was so excited to see what she was doing. And listen, I feel like, speaks to this demographic so well. She's always been a champion of celebrating individuality and quirks. And she's got this I Am Me campaign, which really focuses, it's got some amazing cool women that are telling their stories, that are modeling her products, and they're from all different backgrounds. They're all from our demographic, and they're sharing their stories about how they've found confidence, happiness, and they're celebrating their own natural beauty. And they all look different. They don't all look that certain image, as in frozen face, no pores, raised eyebrows. They all show expression in the images, and they're cool and they're edgy as well. They're not frumpy, but they're not looking like they're 20 either. So she's just got that really perfect messaging, really, and and the other thing is, I feel like brands, you don't have to be that explicit about talking to our age either. You can she does it in a way that a 20-year-old would look at some of the women that she's got modeling that are not specifically models, they're just amazing women, and they'd think, well, I want to be like her. They're not looking at her thinking, oh, she's in her 50s or 60s. They're looking at her thinking, oh, what a cool woman. She's really comfortable in her own skin, and she's happy in her own skin. So I think she's doing it really well. Dove, I think, always have a really great positive beauty message. They have their Keep Beauty Real campaign, which is addressing AI, which I think is something really important for, I think, the younger generation, because I think we're a bit more savvy and we see through the AI messaging a little bit more, but still it's a concern. And then there's a new brand that I'm watching by Celeste Barber, the comedian, who basically does spoofs of, like, a model will be there posing, doing some pose, and then she'll come in and she'll take the pee out of them, basically. She's launched a brand called Buoy Beauty, and the tagline is "Be the best version of you," which is, I think, is great. And she's like modeling some of the products, and she's showing her wrinkles and stuff, which is really interesting. And then there's another brand called Basma Beauty, which is sold in Sephora over here in the US. I know it is available in the UK
Mm-hmm.
online. And that was created by a woman who was burnt when she was like really young. I think she was about 4. And that really celebrates individuality as well. But my favourite by far is Jones Road.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love Bobbi Brown.
I mean, she's in her mid to late 60s.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, you know, she's really I think she's really pioneered, you know, and she's really cornered a market, and there's room for
Definitely.
more. There's room
Yeah.
for more.
Yeah. I think she sort of set the standard, didn't she, really?
She really did. And
Yeah.
yeah, I just think, as I said, I think everyone, it's not, you know, 20, 30-year-olds want to be part of the Jones Road experience, but
Mm-hmm.
we know that it's targeted towards us.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. But look, there are two sides of the coin here. I think brands get a lot of scrutiny these days, and more times than not for good reason. But I really want to touch on the media's role in shaping how women, especially older women, see themselves. We still see headlines which can feel very outdated. Look, for instance, I read one today, and it basically it's saying, face it, at 50, it's time to go easy on the war paint. Less is more in midlife makeup. And I was just like, oh my goodness, like, what is going on? Come on now. What's your take on how beauty features for older women are written today? Do you think things are improving, or is there still a long way to go? Because I don't know, to me, sometimes it feels like that.
Yeah, I think it depends what you're reading.
True.
But it's still a long way. Unfortunately, what happens is, being in the industry for so long, is that you might write something as a freelance journalist, you might write something, and then the sub-editors or the powers that be are thinking, right, what's the best clickbait?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, women will pick up on that headline and want to read the article. But that goes back to how important the brand's messaging is, because it is an education piece, and we're so used to seeing these negative things about ourselves that we're going to pick up on these headlines to fix them. So it's a bit of a full circle thing. So I hope that would never happen to an article of mine. And my writing is all about not putting rules on women, actually.
Yeah.
It's not about saying you can't do this and you can do this, because regardless of age, actually, it's about the individuality. But there is a long way to go, but I think it's all tied in with the messaging that brands are giving as well. It's very frustrating. It really is. But also, I asked my followers about this, and about this conversation. I put a little story out saying that I was doing this podcast, and, you know, what do they think about anti-aging and stuff. And most of them said they hated the language and that brands need to do more. But then I had a couple of followers say they don't actually they've never really thought about it.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, which is really interesting. And I think that is fine. And I think that doesn't mean to say that we shouldn't address it, because I think we should, because if we address it, then women, if they don't notice it, then it doesn't really matter. Do you know what I mean? But if we're just keeping the positive out there. So what I'm saying is that as much as I hate that language, there are probably some women that don't even realise that it's derogatory. They're just trying to find products that's right for them. And that same woman, well, one of the women that said about it, she was the one that also brought up the point that at least she knows when something says anti-aging, or that something says, I don't know, don't look 50. I don't know. She knows it's for her.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think there's a long way to go. And I think as a journalist, I feel very responsible to spin it. I really do. And I think gradually the consumer or the reader or the viewer, whatever they're looking at, that will be absorbed into them, and it will make them feel better.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes, of course it does. I definitely think there's a way to strike a balance between offering that practical advice to older women and at the same time ensuring that the messaging uplifts, and has a positive spin to it rather than patronizing.
Totally.
Yeah, I definitely think
that's so important, the patronizing thing.
Yeah.
Don't assume that I want to look a certain way.
Yeah, that's it.
Mm.
So now for some fun. I have a little game for you called Myth or Must. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to read some common statements about skincare and makeup for older women.
Yeah.
And I want you to tell me if they're a myth or a must. And of course, explain your answer. Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay, fabulous. Let's do it.
Exciting.
Older women should avoid bold lipstick colours and stick to neutrals for a more natural look.
Myth.
I feel like I need a buzzer here.
Yeah, you definitely do. It's like Family Fortunes or something. Look, it's not about the product. It's about the application, actually, more than anything, I think. But no, you can wear whatever you want. I mean, the thing is, I love wearing. I don't wear bright lipstick a lot, but when I do, it makes me feel really good. It makes me feel like I can walk into a room and have more confidence. I'm not wearing it to make me look older, younger, whatever. I'm wearing it because it makes me feel good.
Oh, yeah. I love a red lippy.
What makes you feel good, wear it regardless of how old you are.
I think so. Skincare products with lifting and firming claims are essential for women over 40.
No, myth. Because, again, it goes back to what you feel. I'm not going to tell any woman that anything's essential. That's really important to me, actually. That's something that I'm very passionate about on my social media. I don't like to do the hard sell. You need this in your life. Because some women, a lot of my followers, come to me and they don't know what a serum is, or they don't know what, I don't know, retinol is.
Yeah.
I just want you to use products that, again, make you feel good, make you happy, whether that's a bar of soap. If it's making you feel good, then whatever. Do it.
Do it. Older women should avoid shimmer in eyeshadows because it accentuates wrinkles.
Oh, do you know what? Right. I think I've said this before, to be honest. I'll hold my hands up. But a while ago, I said it a while ago. Myth. But caveat that I have said it before. And also makeup artists have said it to me before, because it does settle in your wrinkles more if you don't want them to be shown. But that's the point. I don't care if you can see, look at my forehead. I don't care if people see my wrinkles. Yeah, I mean...
Myth.
I think a lot of these are going to be myths.
Using heavier foundation is better for covering mature skin imperfections.
Complete myth. Less is more, 100%. No. I think for anyone, actually.
Yeah.
But no, I think actually, again, it's up to the individuality. But I think as you get older, you need to pare down your makeup. And it's all about the skin.
Yeah, It's looking for those products that have more sort of skin benefits
100%.
than anything else.
100%.
Yeah. And also, it's the type of finish that you're looking for, right?
Yeah. Some people prefer like a matte finish, so that requires a different product than something that's more natural. I mean, I don't wear foundation and I'm 48, and I don't plan to either.
Mature skin doesn't need sunscreen as much as younger skin because it's less susceptible to sun damage.
Oh, I nearly swore then. That is a load of old bull beat. I mean, look, you do. Look, the thing is, a lot of the damage is done when before the age of 18, and you can't reverse that. But when you're my age or our age, you can prevent more happening by covering up and wearing SPF 50 every day. It's
regardless.
Non-negotiable.
Yeah, definitely. Donna, thank you so much for sharing your insights and expertise with me today. I feel like this episode is going to resonate with so many listeners, whether they're in the beauty industry or simply looking for inspiration to embrace their own aging journey. Before we wrap up, where can my listeners follow your work and keep up with your beauty wisdom?
So I'm on Instagram at The Beauty Ed, and TikTok, which is a bit of a scary place, but yeah, at The Beauty Ed. I'm also launching a new website, which will be launching early next year, thebeautyed.com, funnily enough, which will have some amazing content on there for all my followers. And then I do have a podcast, Smiling Gives You Wrinkles, which is found wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Oh, thank you again, Donna. And thank you to everyone who tuned in to PR Like a Boss. Remember, aging is a privilege. And with the right mindset and messaging, it's something we can all celebrate. See you next time. Until then, keep pushing boundaries and PRing like a boss.